Howdy YouTube, and welcome to this episode of Gunman. So this video here, I'm going to be taking you guys through how I did a custom paint job on my custom made spray gun stand. So for those who missed part one, I made these spray gun stands for use for display purposes of some of my classic guns. So this gun here specifically was the first gun I ever bought. I decided to retire it because I've got enough guns at work already and stop using it for a 1K primer gun and an etch primer gun like I was before, and retire it to sitting at home. And if I was going to do that, why not have it on a beautiful custom painted spray gun stand? So I made the video on how to weld the air fitting on and do filler work. And then enough people said that they wanted to see a part 2 and see me spraying them, so I decided to make a part 2. I'll do my best to keep you guys interested, but yeah, we'll see how we go. It's not going to be probably one of my better videos, but just chill out and watch me painting these little stands. So this entire job I was actually doing on my lunch break, so I was kind of in a bit of a hurry. I only get 30 minutes for lunch. 10 of that is stuffing some food into my mouth, or maybe 5 minutes, and then I was busy making these spray gun stands. So obviously you saw first up I started off by putting some plastic primer over the air fittings, because the air fitting itself has a plastic casing on it. Depending on the kind of air fitting you're using, you may not need to do that. You may need to etch prime it or something like that. And as you probably noticed, the base of the gun itself was already in primer. I primed that in the previous video. So yeah, and then after that I just put some silver base coat down on it because I wanted the candy to really pop over that coarse metallic silver base coat. And that's what I'm doing now, just mixing up my candy red. It's one of the Chromax tinters. Can't recall the number of it offhand, but it's actually one of the tinters that is used in Soul Red. So it's very similar to Soul Red, this candy that I'm using here. I'm just utilizing all my mini guns. As you can see there, there's crap all over the joint. The bench is an absolute mess, but I'm just doing what I got to do to make it so that I was finished by the time lunch was over, so I could get back to work. So yeah, as you can see here, it's starting to look pretty cool with a bit of the candy red over the top of it. 1 to 2 coats, or 1 to 3 or even 4 coats if you really wanted to, depending on what you want it to look like at the end of the day. Truth be told, I probably went a little bit deep with the red compared to the gun itself on this one here. The gun's probably a touch lighter than the stand, but not a big deal. If anything, I think the base of the gun stand probably looks better than the gun itself. That's not too bad of a problem to have. So as you can see there, I'm just getting the color matching light to make sure I'm happy with the coverage and the color and all that. And then I'm getting some flakes. I had some holographic flakes that you can see me putting into my primer gun there. So that primer gun's got a 1.8mm on it, and it's just enough to get those, I think they're 200 micron flakes, just enough to get them popping out. Yeah, I have a few people ask, oh, what size tip should I use for using flakes? And it all depends on the size of the flake. I mean, get yourself a 2mm for 200 micron flakes, you're usually pretty right. Using the monster flakes, you obviously have to get yourself a dry flake gun. But there you go, so that's the candy and the flakes down. Let that dry out for a bit. I actually preheated these stands like half hour before lunch. I had them sitting under the light so that when I went to start painting it, the paint was drying really quickly, because the dolly itself and the stand itself was already quite warm. So this one here, I really had no idea what I was doing. I was literally just making it up as I went along. I painted it silver for coverage because I know yellow is terrible at coverage. And I just bang, there's some yellow. That looked good. Grabbed the tinter out of the mixing room, put it in there, and just started spraying. And this gun here had some red in it, so I sprayed some red over it. You know, it's turned into a bit of a mango. A few people have mentioned that, yeah, it kind of looks a bit like a mango. I think it looks pretty cool. It's not finished yet, which is why you don't actually see it here. It's still in at work. I've got a few more tweaks to do to it. I've got a gun that I'm planning on using it for, and it's gonna look pretty cool when it's done, put it that way. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one in future videos. Again, this is just me mixing up some of the flakes. So these are the DNA hologram flakes, or holographic flakes I think they're called. As I said, they're like 200 micron. Just put the flakes in there, use a bit of 599, which is basically a stabilizer, base coat stabilizer, or close enough to colorless base coat. It's got a very slight yellow tint to it, but by the time that is spread out across such a thin film, you're not going to really notice any of that yellow tint to it. So yeah, just give that a bit of a stir up, take the filter out of your gun. I've done that a couple of times, like I've gone to spray flakes, and I usually like to keep a filter in most of my spray guns just to stop any larger bits of crap coming through. But if you have a filter in and you've got flakes in there, they're obviously not going to be able to come out through that filter because they're going to be larger than the holes in the filter. So yeah, again, just spraying them over, making them look all sparkly and cool. Here's another thing I actually did this one for my girlfriend. I had like a blue camelback shirt, and she said that she wanted one. So for Christmas, one of her Christmas presents, I decided to buy a new one of these and spray those hologram flakes all over it. Looks pretty cool. I actually get more use out of this than she does these days. So yeah, just about ready to start flicking some paint around to get that splatter effect on this red base, the red one here. I reckon it looks awesome. You wouldn't believe it, but when I was putting these in the tray there, after they were all finished for the first time, before they actually got flow coated, sorry, the weight of the dollies, because they're quite heavy, this paint lid, what you see there, is actually gone and slipped down, and one of them went flying. This one here went flying and it landed on the floor. I was like, oh my god, what the hell. Pretty pissed off at the start, but then I realised it was actually only, most of it came out in a clear coat because I've got so much clear on there, and then there was just a little bit of a chip up the back here. I thought, you know what I'm going to do there, I'm not going to redo the whole thing again. Just did a bit of a spot repair, I guess, just filled it in, and then got some black paint and flicked it over the back there, and short of telling all you guys, now you wouldn't know. But yeah, as you can see there, I just got that little paintbrush there and flicking the silver down. Next up, put some black down over the top. It's pretty simple and very effective to get a pretty awesome looking finish. Yeah, obviously when doing stuff like this, and as you can see, I'm just doing a bit of a test to see how it's going to look over on the side, and yeah, it's pretty important to get lots and lots of clear coat over the top of this, because you're going to have a decent sized film build of your splattered paint there. So I put crazy amount of paint over there. I put like 5 to 7 coats, I think. Yeah, I put so much on that I lost count. I just banged a coat on, put it back under the light, banged another one on, and just did that heaps of times until I was happy there was enough on there, and then I was able to flow coat it down. And I am actually going to give this one another flow coat because of those little spotties that I told you. So I've got these 1 or 2 areas here and here that are slightly raised up. So I'm going to give it ages. Like I'm going to give it a month or something to sort of shrink right back, even longer maybe. And then take it in, give it a quick sand back, and put some DNA custom clear on it, which is what I used on this one when I was flow coating this one here, which is actually finished. Yeah, I'm done with that one. That's the final result on that, and I think it looks pretty damn cool. So as you can see there, I did a bit of an addition to this. Like in the previous video, that was just black, because I decided, well, most of the gun is black on this, so I thought I'd paint that top section a bit of a candy red to sort of match up there. I didn't bother I didn't bother anything with the flames or the skull on it. Probably could if I really wanted to, but I didn't think it necessary. I think it yeah, looks cool as it is. I ended up actually pulling the pots off. I reckon these guns look probably better with the pots off them. Give you guys a bit of a better look, full screen, at these 2 gun holders as they are now. And that's about it. I really enjoyed doing it. I thank you guys for watching it, and thanks for asking for this video, because if I didn't get a few questions about it, I wasn't going to bother making it. But yeah, the people, Sprayway Customs, he left a comment saying, yeah, make sure you do a video on the paintwork. So thanks to him, man. And here we go, having a look at them. So this is probably my pride and joy, the first spray gun I ever owned, and it's going to be forever living on, sitting at home on the shelf. That's pretty cool, eh? As you can see, there's a mad gloss on that already, but that's going to get even better once I give it another flow coat. So that was my little sort of spot repair up the back here where it fell off the stand. So it's a little bit raised. It's not quite flush there. And this is this one. Again, I reckon this one's pretty damn cool. You get a very good effect out of the hologram flakes over your darker colors. So as you can see there, that's nice and flat. So there you go. That's it for this vid, gunners. I hope you have enjoyed watching it, and thanks to Paul for donating this gun to the channel. He's a fellow tradie from here in Perth, and he donated that to the channel. So thanks, Paul, and yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now you've seen this video, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.